Hey guys, welcome to March Juncture. I am Mara, and today I'm going to be sharing my March wrap up with you guys. So let's get it. All right, so I only read 6 books for the month of March, and that's like literally half of what I usually read during the month. And that was solely because March was just like one of those months for me. I don't know why. Like it was just, I had no momentum. I do believe it's because like the first book that I read for the month of March, it took me 2 weeks to finish. It was very like one of those books that just put me in a book slump. It was like when I listened to Risa Tisa's audiobook and it just put me in a reading slump. That's exactly what this book did to me. So let's introduce the book. So this is A Piece of Cake by Cupcake Brown. This book has been on my TBR for 15 years. Like, I remember being in high school and I would always see this book at Barnes & Noble, and I just wanted to read it because of the cover. Like, it was just, the cover of the book would just always draw me to the book. I never knew what it was about, didn't even know that it was a memoir. So recently I seen someone on TikTok read this and I'm like, okay, I gotta read it. Child, this is literally one of the best memoirs I've ever read. I would put this in top 3 memoirs that I've read so far. Extremely heavy book emotionally. Like, you're gonna be angry, sad, happy. You're gonna be like laughing because she is very funny. But it's a very heavy book to read. I felt like each chapter could literally be its own book. Like the depth that she put in this book, and like the way that she wrote her book felt like how, Risa Tisa does such a great job at like telling a story. That's exactly how this made me feel. Like, if you want like Risa Tisa's audiobook, like the way she narrated her story in book form, this one right here. She does an excellent job at telling her story. The book is also narrated by Bonnie Turpin. Child, if Bonnie Turpin narrates your book, automatic buy for me. Automatic listen. I'm going to listen to the book on audiobook if Bonnie Turpin narrates your book. She's like one of my favorite audiobook narrators. So I would definitely recommend this book. I don't usually give my book stars, but if I were to give this a star rating, it would be a 5 out of 5. Literally one of the best memoirs that I've ever read. And I did stalk her on Instagram because I don't know about y'all, when I read a really good memoir, I have to go stalk the person to see what they're up to, how they're doing. So I did stalk her on Instagram. I actually am following her on Instagram. And she says she does have a sequel coming out, so that's exciting. Next, we have Black Girls Must Die Exhausted by Jane Allen. I absolutely love this book as well. If I had to give it a star rating, it would be a 5 out of 5. Check the triggers. I don't know if the triggers are listed, but I did post a post about this on my Instagram, and I did list some of the triggers present. I did say in that post as well that if you like the show Girlfriends, then you would like this book, because this book follows the what am I trying to say? Okay, this book follows the FMC as well as 2 of her friends. So the female main character, Tabitha, and her friends Lexi and Leilani. But it mainly just follows Tabitha, who is given a specific diagnosis that has to deal with infertility. And the diagnosis, of course, disrupts her whole life. And so it just navigates her journey of that, as well as it also follows like the journey of her friend, like what her friends are going through as well. Like, they're all going through like real life ish, and it just navigates, real life things, and how, we get through those and overcome those moments, as well as being a Black woman in America. So love it, absolutely love it. Definitely would recommend. I can't wait to read. So far there's a total of 3 books in the series. I do have the 2nd book. I don't have the 3rd book. Next, we have Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. Another 5 out of 5 for me. This was my introduction book to this author. So many people were talking about this on TikTok, and I was like, okay, I have to know what the hype is. And they got it right. They got it right. This book was phenomenal. It follows The two male main characters, one black and one white, they are the fathers of an interracial couple, one white man, one black man, who were married and with a child, and they got brutally unalived in their city. So their fathers come together to pretty much wreak havoc on the city. It's one of those F around and find out, like, bet. The police didn't want to do their job, so the fathers decided that they were going to put matters in their own hands. Yeah, they got to the bottom of it. Next, we have Luster by Raven Leilani. Child, you know, I have a hard time publicly saying what I feel about this book, because if I don't like a book, I'm not gonna post a review about it, because I just think that's disrespectful to the author. I don't really have any constructive criticism to add to the book, because I do like her writing style. If she were to release another book, I would give her a chance. But this book was very much cringe for me. I did not relate to the main character at all. I did want to DNF it a few times, but I allowed myself to keep reading it to see where it was going, and she was very much weird. She was very much like, is this book called Luster because she was very lusty? Like, child, the way she was slanging people at work. When I say she was slanging at work, she was slanging them things at work. Like, she had an extensive receipt of what she did. She even listed it on, I don't even know what page that was on. Child, the way she was slanging, she went down the list of, I did this with him, I did this with him, I did this with him, and then she got herself into a relationship with a married man who did state in his bio that he was in an open marriage. She ended up living with the couple and then establishing a relationship with the wife, and then being a role model for the daughter. It was very much weird. Like, what am I reading? Like, I go into all my books blind. When I seen this title, I was thinking of, like, I don't know why I keep looking this way, but when I was reading this, I was thinking very much like Luster, like Black Excellence, like pink lotion, hair ballies, beads, barrettes, you know, like a Crooklyn vibe. No. I'm not going to give it any star rating, because I just feel like that's just disrespectful to the author, because the book just was not for me, okay? And then next, next we have, I read Hideway. It was the arc. Thank you, Miss Joanna Kimber. Arc by Miss Joanna Kimber called Hideway. It is the second book to her novella Pepper Lights. Pepper Lights is a little appetizer to get you prepared for her first novel is going to be releasing in May, Hideway. I do recommend reading Pepper Lights first. The novella is only 100 pages, so it gives you a nice little, you know, appetizer to see like what her writing style is like, and gives you the foundation of Cleo and River's relationship that will be further explored in Hideway. And I definitely recommend this book. I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to give too much of the feels away due to it being an arc, but it's definitely like a summer beach read. And the plot is in Houston and Jamaica. Interracial couple. Cleo is a black woman. River is a white man, a wealthy white man. And it just, go read it. Yeah, go read it. Yeah, it was really good. I just don't want to say too much because it is an arc and I don't want to give all the feels away. But Miss Joanna Kimber was in her bag with this book. The quotes, baby, the quotes, the way you're going to be highlighting and tabbing. Yeah, she was in her bag with the quotes. Next, on audiobook, I did Hooked by, is that Emily McIntyre? Let me see. Let me just double check because I'm not. Yeah, Emily McIntyre. And I ate this book up, okay? I've been eyeballing this book for so long. I've been eyeballing this series for so long and ate the book up. So I will be I'm kind of nervous to read the other books in the series because I like the first book so much. It's a Peter Pan retelling, and she did her thing. I'm not really a Peter Pan fan. I'm just not a Peter Pan fan, so I was kind of nervous. That's why I was nervous to start the book period in the past. Like I would keep looking at it, but it was like, Peter Pan, I'm not really a Peter Pan fan, but ate it up. It reminded me, like, if you like the show Once Upon a Time, I think you would love the book. And it's just like, if you are somebody who would want to get your feet wet with like dark romance, I think this is like a perfect, because it's very much mediocre compared to like those crazy dark romances. Like, so you want like that little sweet taste of like dark romance, but not like the craziness. Like Butcher and Blackbird can be a lot for somebody. I absolutely love that book, but it was kind of like cringe for me some parts because it was very like gory kind of sometimes, and that's not really me. But like if you were able to get past that, like Butcher and Blackbird is a really good book. But I feel like between Hook and Butcher and Blackbird, like Hook would be like elementary, Butcher and Blackbird is like high school. So I did like Hook. I'm just kind of nervous to read the other books because the first book was so good and they're standalone. So it's like, what are the other books centered around? But as far as Hooked, I did really like that. I would give that a 5 out of 5 as well. Mr. James Daddy, people be calling him James Daddy. Hook is James. So yeah, that's my March reading wrap up. I will see you guys in my next video.